Okay, so now what I want to show you is something called a soft return or a forced return, and basically, you know how I created some space between each paragraph? So to make this location, the word location, feel more connected to the paragraph below, because right now it's exactly in the middle, what I'm going to do is get rid of the return and then hold shift and then press enter, and then it creates a soft return, which is basically going to give it the same distance and leading as the rest of the lines within the paragraph. So if I do it over here, again, delete that return and hold shift return, then it gives the feeling that that subtitle is connected to this paragraph and not just floating in between two paragraphs. Let's see, I'll do it over here too. Delete that one and hold shift return. Delete this one and hold shift return. Okay, so that was just a small thing in case you want to do that. It's a forced return or soft return. And then the other thing I want to show you is how to do a text wrap. So if I have another image that I want to put right here, for example, and actually I want to see my normal mode right now so I can see my layout, and then I'm going to place the image, Control D. So now I go back to my final project folder and look for my image folder, and from here I can find an image that I want to add. So for example, this image of Africa and the location of the giraffes of where they live, I want to put it next to my location paragraph, and right now this image is right now is covering up my text, and if I move it back, then the text is covering up the image. So what I want is to have the text wrap around the image. In order to do that, I need to go to my text wrap panel, and if you don't know where your text wrap panel is, you can go to Window, and I think it's under, oh yeah, it has its own menu item, text wrap. Okay, and then just select the second icon. That's probably the one that you'll be using the most, because then the text can go around. For example, if I make it smaller, then the text will continue to wrap itself around this image. If I choose this one, then it gets rid of the image for the whole row, regardless of how big or small I make the image. So I'm going to bring it back to this one and make my image a little bit smaller. So if I want to make the image smaller within the window, I need to make sure I grab my white arrow. And then I can adjust it like so. And then adjust the window. And right now, the text is pretty close to the image, so I want to give it a little more space. And so in order to do that, I just need to make sure my image is highlighted and then go back over to my text wrap panel. And since I want an even, I want even spacing all the way around the image, I'm going to link my spacing so that the top, bottom image, if I just adjust one, all of them adjust at the same time. And that looks pretty good. So now I'm just going to make sure that my image fits my margins perfectly, like so, and then zoom out, and I want to go back to preview mode. So if you want to just see what it's going to look like without all the lines, just click on the last icon in your tool panel, just hold it down and select preview, and then it gets rid of all the lines, and it looks pretty good.